Vaccines are, of course, one of our biggest weapons in this fight to end the pandemic. But some countries in Europe are putting a pause on the AstraZeneca shot. As you know, that vaccine, it is one of the 4 being used right here in Canada. And we're waiting to hear some news on that vaccine from the country's top advisory panel. CBC's Natasha Fatah is tracking this story live from Toronto. What are you hearing, Natasha?
That's right, Suhana. What's happening in Europe is in the background of this very important decision that we might get some update on this week. We know that the National Advisory Committee on Immunizations, this federal body, did meet yesterday, and there is a possibility that they might reverse their decision on AstraZeneca as it relates to individuals who are 65 years of age or older. Now, previously, their recommendation had been that these individuals should not necessarily get AstraZeneca. They would have recommended that they get the Pfizer or the Moderna vaccine instead. But now there's a possibility that they might have changed their mind on this. Now, we don't have any official confirmation on that point as of yet, and we're waiting to find out and putting in calls on that front. Also important for Canadians to note is that the 500,000 AstraZeneca vaccine shots that we have received are in fact those that have been developed in India. They're the Covishield vaccines that were made in the Serum Institute. So while they are biologically, in terms of formula, exactly the same as the AstraZeneca vaccine, they are produced obviously in completely different geographic locations, but also under very different technical conditions as well. That's significant because, as I said, in the background, you've got this concern about the AstraZeneca vaccine and potential ramifications it's having on people there and how some of the European nations are responding to that, Suhana.
Now, some countries in Europe temporarily suspending the use of that AstraZeneca vaccine. What's the backstory there?
So the backstory there is that there have been multiple reports, at least 30 that we have heard of individuals who are dealing with severe blood clotting who all took the AstraZeneca vaccine. Now, there is not necessarily any scientifically proven correlation between taking that particular vaccine and these blood clots. Nevertheless, it is posing a number of questions. This is not the type of thing where most people want to say, well, let's just see what happens. And in fact, there has been one report of one of those individuals dying as a result. So now Denmark and Norway have said they are suspending, not canceling, temporarily suspending the use of the AstraZeneca vaccine in their country until they get more information. In the meantime, there is this concern about one specific batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine that was sent to 17 European Union nations. So as a result, the European Medicines Agency is investigating, in fact, if there is a link between that particular batch of the vaccines that was produced, sent over to these countries, and the individuals getting these blood clots. So in this gray zone that European countries are existing in right now, we've also got Austria, Italy, Estonia, Lithuania, Luxembourg, and Latvia all saying that they have stopped inoculations from that specific batch until the investigation is concluded. Sweden, on the other hand, says, we don't seem to be so concerned right now. There's no link between the two, so we're going to continue to use that particular batch. And at any moment, that decision could also change, Suhana. But the big thing that Canadians need to keep in mind is if those European countries got their vaccines, that batch from AstraZeneca, and Canadians got their vaccines from India, it is impossible that we would have received the same batch of vaccines because lots of people are going to be concerned about that. It is nevertheless going to raise questions. Is it just one batch or is it going to go further than that? This is very much a story in movement right now. We're trying to stay on top of it and we'll bring you all the updates.
Excellent. Thank you, Natasha.